Right now on Jamaica News Page tonight.
This was a takedown of historic proportions that will not only make Nassau County safer, but the whole region.
6 Jamaican men are busted in a major drug and firearms trafficking operation on Long Island in New York City. What charges are they facing tonight, and what investigators say they uncovered during the 14-month probe? Also developing tonight, a search intensifies for Haitian nationals believed to be hiding after illegally entering Jamaica. Where are authorities searching, and what warning are they issuing to residents? And
5 bodies lie right here in front of me on the ground between the Toyota Hiace bus right there at the top and right here this mini box truck. We don't know yet what would have led to this gruesome outcome.
Tragedy in Trelawny. 7 people are dead following this horrific crash involving 2 delivery vehicles. We're tracking the latest developments and what investigators believe may have caused this deadly collision. Plus, there's good news tonight.
It has been the perception of most people that once one has been sentenced by the courts to a correctional facility, that locking down is all that happens. However, it's far from the truth.
Correctional officers are being recognized not only for maintaining security, but also for helping transform lives through education, mentorship, and rehabilitation. Welcome and welcome back to Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica, and we're powered by viewers just like you. Please click subscribe and tap the notification bell to stay connected. Thank you for joining us. Alexander Bustamante-14Z. Jamaica News Page tonight starts right now. And we begin tonight in St. Catherine, where police are continuing an extensive search for Haitian nationals believed to be hiding after illegally entering Jamaica. The St. Catherine South Police say 6 Haitian nationals were found in Old Harbour on Friday evening after residents reported seeing suspicious individuals in the Bushy Park area earlier in the day. The group comprises 5 men, 2 women, and a teenage girl. Commanding officer for the St. Catherine South Police, Senior Superintendent Leighton Gray, says officers are continuing searches along the Old Harbour shoreline and surrounding communities after 2 of the men were reportedly found hiding in bushes.
Again, with the support of the law-abiding residents in the Old Harbour Bay area, the team began to conduct a series of searches of houses, shops, and other buildings within the proximity of the Old Harbour Bay shoreline and that general area. The necessary arrangements are being made to have these additional Haitian national medically examined. The Haitian authorities in Jamaica has also been notified, as also PICA.
According to SSP Gray, members of the group told investigators they were trying to reach the United States when their boat developed mechanical problems, forcing them ashore in Jamaica. The latest incident comes less than a month after 28 Haitian nationals who entered Jamaica illegally were intercepted in Portland before being processed by immigration officials and returned to Haiti. Police are now urging residents not to shelter undocumented migrants and instead report any unfamiliar individuals seen in their communities as the search continues. In other news tonight, 6 Jamaican men are facing serious criminal charges in the United States following what authorities describe as one of the largest gun and drug trafficking investigations in Nassau County, New York.
Well, Ryan, officials are saying this all started with a routine traffic stop, and now 14 months later, they're calling this one of the most intense gun trafficking cases they've seen in recent years. Investigators even alleging that some of these illegal gun sales took place in the middle of the day in front of children as they were being dismissed from school.
Investigators say the 6 men who were allegedly linked to a Jamaica-based gang were arrested after a 14-month multi-agency investigation uncovered an extensive firearms and narcotics trafficking operation spanning Long Island and Queens in New York City.
This was a takedown of historic proportions that will not only make Nassau County safer, but the whole region.
This case is a powerful example of how we can accomplish when local and state and federal law enforcement work towards a common goal. Trafficking of more than 40 firearms is not a victimless crime. Every illegal firearms trafficked has the potential to be used in a violent crime.
Investigators recovered 47 illegal firearms, approximately 900 grams of cocaine, and 100 grams of heroin during the operation. The accused have been identified as 30-year-old Robert Petgrave, 37-year-old Andrew Petgrave, 34-year-old Jamari Poirier, 23-year-old Raheem Smith, 48-year-old Clayton Solomon, and a 25-year-old Shahid Folks. Investigators allege the defendants obtained firearms from Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia before trafficking them into New York City, where undercover officers purchased the illegal weapons on 8 separate occasions. Authorities also allege that narcotics were sold to undercover officers during 13 separate transactions throughout New York State. Law enforcement officials say several of the recovered firearms have been linked to crimes in the state of Alabama and Suffolk County in New York. Investigators further allege that 3 of the accused, Smith, Folks, and Poirier, entered the United States illegally and have ties to a Jamaica-based criminal organization. However, they have not disclosed the name of the alleged gang. Prosecutors say Robert Petgrave, Smith, and Solomon each face up to 25 years in prison for the sale of a firearm. Andrew Petgrave and Poirier each face up to 20 years for the sale of a controlled substance, while Folks faces up to 4 years in prison on a conspiracy charge. All 6 pleaded not guilty when they appeared in court on Friday and are scheduled to return to court on July 21. And still in New York City, the Jamaican man accused of fatally shooting his niece in the Bronx is ordered held without bail after appearing before a judge as prosecutors revealed details about his criminal past. 58-year-old Michael Foster was arraigned on Thursday in connection with a fatal shooting of 39-year-old Julia Anderson. Authorities say the killing stemmed from a bitter years-long dispute over ownership of a family home in Mount Vernon. Court records show that last year, Foster accused Anderson of forging a deed to their shared home. She was arrested, but the charges were quickly dropped. Anderson later sued, alleging investigators relied on what she described as, quote, unvetted statements of a known felon with a violent history and a personal vendetta, end quote. That was a reference to Foster, who served time after being convicted of first-degree manslaughter in the 1988 fatal shooting of Calvin Reed, the father of former NFL running back Ray Rice, in Mount Vernon. Investigators say Anderson was shot and killed in the Wakefield section of the Bronx just before midnight on Monday, July 13, 2026, while sitting inside her parked vehicle. Foster is charged with murder, manslaughter, and 10 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Also making news in the United States, dancehall entertainer Squash has received another reduction in his U.S. prison sentence, even as a federal judge dismissed a lawsuit he filed seeking his immediate release. The entertainer, whose given name is Andre Maurice Whitaker, had argued that prison officials were violating his constitutional rights by preventing him from participating in sentence reduction programs available under the First Step Act. However, the court dismissed the lawsuit after finding that Squash failed to respond to an earlier order requiring him to refile the case using the proper court forms. Despite the dismissal, Squash's projected release date has been moved up once again. According to court records, his new release date is now December 11, 2026. That's 15 days earlier than previously scheduled and a total of 45 days earlier than when the year began. Squash is currently serving a 27-month sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution in Oakdale, Louisiana, after pleading guilty to being an alien in possession of a firearm or ammunition. And back home, we're following a developing story out of Trelawny. 7 people are dead following Friday morning's devastating collision involving a Toyota Hiace bus and a box truck along the Edward Seaga Highway near Falmouth. Take a look. Emergency responders say 6 people died at this scene, while a 7th victim later succumbed to injuries at hospital. Some of the victims have now been identified. They include a 23-year-old Theodore Hudson and pictured here from the left to the right of your screen, a man known only as Bala, O'Neill Campbell, otherwise known as Brown Man, and a man known only as Tony. Emergency personnel rushed to the crash scene shortly before 8 o'clock on the morning of Friday, July 17, where they found occupants trapped inside the mangled vehicles. Authorities say the Hiace bus was traveling towards St. Anne when it collided head-on with the box truck, which was traveling in the opposite direction. Senior Superintendent Lloyd Darby, commanding officer for the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, says investigators have found no indication that weather or road conditions contributed to the collision. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has also expressed sadness over the crash.
I'm devastated at the news of the tragic death of 6 Jamaicans and the injuries of several others in the accident in Trelawny today. On behalf of the government of Jamaica, we offer condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. And once again, this accident shows the urgent need for a national behavior campaign on road safety. Thankfully, the bid closed last week, and we're expecting to evaluate it and get it up and running in the shortest possible time. Something has to give. This cannot continue. The carnage on the roads cannot continue.
Investigations are ongoing. And finally tonight, there's good news. Correctional officers are being recognized not only for maintaining security, but also for helping transform lives through education, mentorship, and rehabilitation. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Corporal Descartes Burke, attached to the St. Catherine District Adult Correctional Center, and welcome to 60 Seconds Beyond the Walls. Here, learning is fully facilitated. Students would have passed accounting, English, mathematics, and other subject areas would have been enlisted into the UCC program. Inmates would have upgraded from an associate degree to a bachelor's degree program. Now our students have excelled, earning themselves cum laude and summa cum laude. That in itself shows that our students are number one. This shows that rehabilitation is a must. It takes place, but it begins in the mind of inmates. It has been the perception of most people that once one has been sentenced by the courts to a correctional facility, that locking down is all that happens. However, it's far from the truth. Life learning skills has been taught to many inmates and has changed their lives. Inmates are not only taught about the computers inside our computer lab, but also in our radio station, they are taught broadcasting. Inmates now are able to read the news, they become disc jockeys. We now create and release entrepreneurs, changing the lives of most of our Jamaicans that has been sentenced by the courts.
You know, this is a reminder that rehabilitation is about more than serving a sentence. It's about creating opportunities for a better future. Through education, mentorship, and encouragement, correctional officers and rehabilitation staff are helping individuals build new paths and in many cases change the course of their lives. It's a powerful example of how hope, guidance, and second chances can make a lasting difference. Congratulations and keep on thriving. And that's the news on Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica, and we're powered by viewers just like you. Please leave a comment so we can welcome you with a shout out. Thank you for joining us, Alexander Bustamante-14Z, and also thank you for watching Jamaica News Page tonight. We'll see you in the comments, and be sure to like, share, and join us again for more news. From all of us here, good night.